confused with Abu Khatija. Yeah, Abu Khatija is a cult member. Yeah, cult, absolute cult, gang. They're like a gang. It's another whole different cult. Yeah, and these cult, S-Pub, Abu Khatija, cult member. Yeah, cult, absolute cult. Abu Khatija is cult member. These SPF cults. S-Pub cult as well. S-Pub cult. You guys are the ones that are always attacking the believers.
What do you mean by cult? Describe to me cult, because the term cult is not present within our deen. We have firaq, na'am. Groups and parties that oppose the sunnah, na'am. What is it you're referring to? What is this cultism that you're referring to? Is it a firqa? Then if it is a firqa, refer to it as a firqa. Because we either have Ahlul Sunnah or Ahlul Batil. Either you are in accordance with the qawaid and the principles of the Salaf of this ummah, you cling to that which they clung to, in which case you're upon the Sunnah. Or you have opposed the way of Ahlul Sunnah. And then you become one of two people. Either you oppose, you recognize that you've opposed, it is explained to you and you return back to the haqq, then you continue to be Ahlul Haqq. Or you remain staunch upon your opposition, obstinate, in which case you're grouped to the people of bid'ah. Qaida sahla. It's not rocket science. It doesn't require kathir al-sharh. It doesn't require much by way of explanation. It is simple, alhamdulillah, as our deen is simple. So what do you mean when you say that they are a cult? What are you saying when you say the people of Sunnah are a cult, or they have cultish tendencies? Explain it to us, because it is not a definition, it is not a terminology that you have taken from our deen. You have taken it from your social sciences, just as the people of Hawa in the past took those terminologies from the people of philosophy and ara, and just as the likes of Hassan al-Banna and the founder of Jama'ah Islami al-Mawdudi took those terminologies and those principles from Marxism and Leninism and other than that. What do you mean by cult? That has to be explained to us, because when we look at some of the definitions of cult and what a cult actually is, as we mentioned, these definitions do not return back to our deen, to the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but these definitions return back to various social sciences. And if we look at the definition or the dictionary definitions of cult, let us look at some of the dictionary definitions of a cult. The Oxford Dictionary defines it as a system of religious veneration and devotion directed towards a particular figure or object. And so based upon this definition, a system of religious veneration or devotion directed towards a particular figure or object, then those who are devoted to the sunnah of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam will be referred to as a cult by this definition. Can we see the dangers of using this type of terminology? Similarly, they refer to a cult, again in the Oxford Dictionary, as a relatively small group of people having religious beliefs or practices regarded by others as strange or as imposing excessive control over members. So if we look at this second definition, a relatively small group of people having religious beliefs or practices regarded by others as strange, then doesn't that remind us of a hadith of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam? When the Prophet ﷺ, as occurs in the hadith of Sahl ibn Sa'd al-Sa'idi, when he said, "Bada al-Islamu ghariban wa sayaudu ghariban kama bada, fatuba lil ghuraba." Islam began as something strange, and it shall return to being something strange. So give glad tidings to the strangers. And when he was asked who the strangers are, he said, "Unasun salihuna qalil, fi unasi su'in kathir, man ya'sihim akthar mimman yuti'ahum." That they are a small group of righteous individuals among a large group of wrongdoers. Those who disobey them are far greater than those who obey them. Yani those who are against them are much more than those who are with them. According to this definition of a cult, then that includes the ghuraba. Similarly, a misplaced or excessive adoration for a particular thing. Then, if it is that we're using one of these blameworthy definitions of the cult, of a cult, then explain to us what is this misplaced or excessive admiration for a particular thing. And of course, they're going to say excessive admiration for either the heads of the leaders of the cult, or excessive admiration for the scholars or for the ulama. Excessive admiration, what is it? Explain to us, and then give us some examples of that excessive admiration that causes the people of Sunnah to be referred to as a cult.
Member, yeah, cult, absolute cult